Alright guys, welcome to this week's Ask Jaws video. First thing out of the box is I'd like to apologize for my neighbor who is still, he's still got to be 400, 500 yards away, but he has decided, as soon as I sat down to record this video, to start using his chainsaw, getting ready for winter. So I apologize for the noise. I gave it about 45 minutes waiting and waiting and waiting. Can't wait any longer, so here we go. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We do have more guests coming up. This week was a little bit of an off week. We had some technical issues going on. It's not been a heavy content week, but there's not a lot going on either, so I'm actually kind of enjoying the break. Starting next week on the 9th, multiple videos per day, and we'll also start throwing in the football stuff. So, if you'd like to get your question into the next week's Ask Jaws, just reply to this video, catch me up on Twitter with the hashtag, or catch the community post that usually I make at the last minute on the YouTube channel, just in case anybody didn't get to me. Alright, a lot of questions this week, so let's get to it. The first question is from Tim Blatt. He wants me to make 3 bold predictions for the upcoming season. Prediction number 1, either Huberdeau or Bennett will get 100 points. Prediction number 2, my channel will get up to 5,000 subscribers. And prediction number 3, by the end of the season, most people will have come to acknowledge that the pandemic is endemic and it's not a pandemic anymore, and we're just going to have to learn to live with it. All right, how's that for a start? All right, the next question is, Colby would like to know if the Seattle Kraken will make the playoffs before the Seattle Mariners breaks their near 20-year playoff drought. Well, I just had to go and Google up the baseball standings for the first time in multiple years. The Marlins are bad. I'm confused. I see a lot of exciting Marlin posts about the team on my timeline. I haven't checked standings in a long time, we'll put it that way. And I go and I'm expecting them to be like just on the bubble, outside the playoff race, maybe we kind of, because that's the vibe I get. And then I look and we're like in last place, and they kind of suck. No offense to Marlins fans, so I don't know what's going on there. Do I expect the Kraken to make? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them make the finals. Not the finals. Geez, I just said the finals. The playoffs this season. I would not be surprised to see that at all. Now, if they want to make the finals, they're going to have to go through Vegas, which I'd be okay with that happening, all right? But obviously, they've got a good pair of goaltenders, even though I kind of wanted Drieger to be the guy. He's the guy B. So we'll just have to live with that. But I fully expect the Kraken to make the playoffs, maybe not this season, but certainly within the next year or two. So Flo Sports would like to know, do I think we're overhyping this season a little bit too much? Let me think about that. This guy is going to be using that chainsaw for 3 hours out there today. All right. Do I think we're overhyping the season a little bit too much? I get the point, right? I get the idea where we've been here, done that before, where we're expecting, and then not so much. And yeah, we haven't made the playoffs 2 seasons in a row since '96. I think it's without a doubt we're making the playoffs this year. I do believe now with the addition of Reinhart and with a healthy Ekblad and with the removal of Yandel especially, I think at this point for me, I'm going to be disappointed if we don't win 2 rounds. You might think I'm going to say only 1 round, but this team has enough. This team should be in the Eastern Conference Finals if we get proper goaltending and if we go out at the deadline and get another defenseman if need be. All right, we got rid of a couple defensemen. We stood pat on the, we didn't bring anybody new. So the only thing I want to see is if we need somebody come the deadline time, we'll go out there and get somebody. But I'm hesitant, but I don't think we're overhyping this team. It's close. It's close, but I think we've got a team that should be competing for a cup. With the roster that we have, if we get the proper goaltending, that's my opinion. All right, we've got a few more here. I'm going to skip that one from Hockey Rob for this moment. Robert wants to know, I'm obviously a dog person, but what about cats? You mean I'm a Panther fan at all? I had 2 cats and then my ex took the cats. It's funny that you mentioned that because just yesterday I was talking with Karen about maybe getting a cat because I've got the 2 dogs and I don't really want to get another dog right now. But when one dog eventually goes, I kind of like, most likely Fluffy will be the one that's left and I kind of don't want him to be alone. So she has a little bit of an allergies to cats, but she can't have a Maine Coon cat. So that could happen. It's not in the mix for this month or anything like that. But I do like cats. I enjoy cats, especially when they're outside cats and they come around and they purr and you pet them and then they go take a crap in the yard and not in a box in the house to stink it up. Alexander the Great. So his question is that the NHL Hall of Fame has announced that they will delay the announcement of who's getting inducted, meaning that Luongo is eligible. And he wants to know some of my favorite Luongo stories and highlights. Well, Luongo, I love his Twitter game, obviously. I mean, over the years, he's come up with some. He's one of the best hockey follows, if not the best hockey follow, in terms of players. In terms of games, Luongo always struck me as the guy that kind of wanted to pull a Tuukka Rask, but could kind of rein it in a little bit. You know what I mean? However, what I will say in terms of watching his reactions and everything like that, the picture I'm getting ready to display now, that's the Luongo we know and love. Look at those eyes, and of course, look at who he's looking at. All right. Chi X Hawks Legacy wants to know how the Panthers are doing money-wise. Before pandemic, people kept saying the Canes, Panthers, Coyotes were teams not doing well. And of course, this leads to the area of them coming to maybe Hartford or Quebec. Wants to know if the pandemic could expedite that idea. Now, I don't know about the other teams. What I will say is that there's a small segment of our fan base that seems relatively certain that they're going to move at some point. It is a small segment. However, I'm not somebody to point at somebody else and say because it's a small segment that they could be wrong. I don't get the feeling, and this is just me now, but I don't get the feeling that Doug and Vinny are going to cut and run. And I know that might come as a surprise to some of you who think I have something against them. I like the owners. They're good hockey owners. They're good. They kind of screwed up in the beginning. I think they've owned that up. All right? But since then, they've done everything they possibly can to allow the hockey people who have knowledge about hockey to make the decision. So when they came in, they kind of thought they were just going to throw money at everything. And they've made some changes that were unpopular, not just with the team, but with, season ticket benefits and everything like that. But I don't think those two guys are going to cut and run. I think the Panthers are here to stay, and I obviously understand that there's differing opinions there. Alexander Great wants to know what would I rate the current goal song? Well, I'm just going to answer this simply. This should be the goal song.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers!
Only
Let's
without
go!
the song. He was done for a half a second. He's going to do it the whole time. $50. $50 says as soon as I turn that camera off, he'll be done with his song. Tyler would like to know, is the team Stanley Cup ready once Reinhart is re-signed? He says, while I posted this, Reinhart isn't signed, and that was on July 30th. He's still not signed. Do I think the team is Cup ready? I think they are conference finals ready. That's going to be my theme throughout the season. If healthy, with proper goaltending, this is a team that should make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. After that, once you get to the Final Four in this league, for the most part, unless it's like a big disparity like Tampa versus Montreal, for the most part, it comes down to puck luck, and the games and the teams are so evenly matched. You know what I mean? Extremely evenly matched. So, do I think this team is ready to win and hoist the cup? That remains to be seen. You know, if we're looking at getting the proper goaltending, my thought, if you saw the video I did about Bobrovsky a few days ago, I would like to see Spencer Knight in the playoffs. Do I think he's just going to run us through and win the cup? I'm not so sure. I know I don't want to say this is his first try because he did have a couple of games last time, obviously, but this would be his first full playoffs. Anything can happen, but for me, the level I think we're at is at conference finals, and then we go from there. Alexander the Great wants to know if I'd rather have the Florida Panthers win a cup or the Dolphins win two Super Bowls. I would rather have the Panthers win a cup, unless the Dolphins were going to guaranteed win 5 in a row, maybe even 5. I don't even know. No, you know what? Just throw out that statement. Panthers winning the cup. That would be so much more important to me than the Dolphins winning a Super Bowl. Yeah, that answers the question. It's not close. Robin would like to know if I got the chance to go after Wayne Gretzky and pick up his dog poop, would I? Only if I can film it. If I can film it, then we have something. But I'm not going to pick up his poop with the promise of later I can film it. It has to be on the spot. That's the only way I'm going to do it. All right, Frank, he's got a question for you. He wants to know, would I like to see an alternate jersey this season like the one he tweeted out today? Well, here is the picture of the one that he tweeted out today. This is nice. I like this. I'm going to give you my version, which I think is a little bit of an improvement. And you guys let me know. Huh? If I was selling that, how many of those could I sell? Any jersey that doesn't have the Leaping Panther on it for me. Any jersey without this, without the broken stick, I'm not going to get overly excited about it. Now, this is a good looking jersey that you got here. I don't want to say I dislike the new logo. I like the Panther in the new logo. I don't like the shape of the crest. I wish we could have done something a little bit different. And then, you know, with the walking Panther on top of the crest on the shoulders, not my favorite. Not my favorite design. The way the jersey's put together is nice though. But my jersey, I like my version. You know, my version. Look, it's got the alternate logo, okay, and it's snazzier. You know what I mean? Now, if I could do a logo with Fluffy chasing the Panther, let's put that on a shirt. That would actually be kind of fun. All right, what we got next? John Greengrass. What do I think will happen to Florida's home opener against Pittsburgh when Matheson plays at Florida for the first time? Will we do a small tribute like they did for Bukestad and McCann? I don't think so. That's going to be my guess, is that the answer to that question is going to be no. I would be surprised to see that happen. Bukestad and McCann were very popular players. Matheson was not. However, never underestimate my creativity now that I've been given this idea. You can full on expect something for opening night when Matheson comes. And I'll have to think about that. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I can't burn a cereal box because I sold that. But we'll have to come up with something. Maybe I need to buy a red-headed puppet. Jamie wants to know, give me your top 10 greatest drummers of all time. Well, Buffalo, sweet and sour, with ranch dressing with the extra spicy barbecue sauce. Oh, drummers, not drumsticks or drumettes. Drummers. I see. All right, so I'm like the worst possible guy to ask that question, or to answer that question anyway. I don't know names of musicians past the very, very basic, most mainstream people that are out there. And for me, mainstream stopped somewhere about 1984. Okay, so I'm not the one to ask about that. I will say this, and no, Jeff, I'm actually not getting ready to mention Hall & Oates, although they've had some decent drummers over time. I don't know what his name is, but I like the guy from the outfield. If you don't know who the outfield is, Google them up. They were I think they were from either Australia or Great Britain. They were a rock band, not heavy rock, but like pop rock. But I like the outfield stuff, and yeah, I like whoever the drummer's name is good. But past that, I don't know. I don't know names of these guys. Sorry. All right. Alexander wants to know, what's the story of how I got and met Fluffy? It's funny because I tell him that story every once in a while. All right, I'm going to try to shorten this story. He is still going on with that damn chainsaw. It's annoying as hell. I've got an interview to do with somebody at 5 o'clock. He better be done. All right. How did I meet Fluffy? How did I get Fluffy? Well, long story short is we actually had a doggy Bordeaux, a French Mastiff, along with Sonia and Ellie. And at 18 months, we had to put him down. He was dangerous. He had mental issues, and it couldn't be fixed. So it was a horrible experience. So my ex at the time, well, she's still my ex, my wife at the time, she kept hounding me about, because everybody was sad, obviously, she kept hounding me, hey, these people, they got St. Bernard puppies, And I no, I'm good with the two, because I do all the dog care, right? So after about 3 weeks of hounding me, we were still living in Maryland, but at a different location, and these puppies were in Delaware. And she finally got me to go, and we pull up, and it was a they had a small little house, and we met the parents. They met us at the gate, and they were taller, they were thinner, and their demeanor was just very, very relaxed. They were very happy to see us, but they weren't wild and crazy like somebody I know, Fluffy. It was false advertising. So we go in, and they've got all the puppies. I think there was 8 or 9 of them left. I believe that's how many there was. Anyway, they've got them in the bathtub, and everybody's looking and picking up the puppies, and I saw this big fluff ball, and I picked him up, and he looked right at me, and he took his paw, and he draped it around my arm, and he gave me a kiss on the nose, and I just looked at everybody else and said, you may as well just put those dogs down, because this is the one that we're taking. And that's Fluffy. And to this day, when I cuddle up next to him to say goodnight, he will take that same paw and wrap it around me. And so sometimes I'll tell him the story about how he did that on the first day we had him. First day we had him. All right, we have got 2 questions left. Now, Hockey Rob would like to know, I'm just going to let you guys read it. I'm not saying that. You know, I've got advertisers now, Rob. You know, I mean, people placing it. I can't say that. Serious. So the answer to that question, you would actually have to ask Jeff. Now, I know he gave you a smart-ass answer in reply, but I think Jeff's problem is that he hasn't experienced enough culture. And if this is something that he's into, it's actually good for him to be experimenting with things. He's got a very narrow, one-sided view of the world. He thinks the only music can be played by a guitar that's plugged in. I mean, he's a Raiders fan. He's a Raiders fan, Rob. Okay? So it sounds to me like you're kind of making fun of him here, and I don't know that we should be making fun of somebody with diminished mental capacity. All right? So out of respect for Jeff and his clear disability, I'm not going to give a real direct answer to this, but all I will say is that the more things that he does similar to this, the better it is for him. He needs culture. Okay, we've got to get Jeff out of the house. And so the last question here is going to test my improv skills again here, because I've read this question numerous times and I still don't have an answer. So we're going to try this. The Scranton Stranglers, Bill, would like to know, why are they called donut holes and not donut balls? Well, one reason could be like, do you really want your girlfriend texting you saying, hey, I'm on my way to get a bag of balls? What flavor? You know what I mean? And then it could get into worse things where, you know, she might tell you, hey, I got these chocolate balls in my mouth and boy are they good. You see what I'm saying? To me it sounds like the inventor of that phrase must have been a man that didn't want his woman speaking a certain way. Now it could go reverse, because it still could sound differently, or talk to text could get you. Talk to text could definitely get you here, okay? What if you, as the man, are on your way and you're going and you text your girlfriend, I'm getting ready to pick up a bag of holes, and talk to text decides to say, hey, I'm picking up a bag of hose. You see what I'm saying? It's dangerous either way. So what I suggest is that women call them holes and men call them balls. And that makes it a little bit more fun, because then we can ask the women to grab our chocolate balls, etc., etc. You get the point. That's the only legit reason. That's the only legitimate reason, is to save relationships. Absolutely. All right. I believe that was it for this week. This was good. This was a little bit shorter than normal. I know you guys get sick of hearing me blah, 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 blah. I think I got to them all. I'm going to, while I'm here, I'm going to go, because I had put a community post out and I checked it at the last minute and there were 2 questions, and now there's a 3rd question. So this one I have not seen before, so there's not going to be a thumbnail for this one. What's the 3rd question? Oh, okay. Daniel Bloomfield would want to know, who do I think will be our top 3 goal scorers this weekend, or this season? All right, so there's easy, obvious names here. So I'm gonna try to throw out there a different name. So let's see, either Barkov, Huberdeau, Reinhardt, or Bennett, right? That would be the obvious 4 to take. However, with absolutely no evidence to back this up, I'm going to say one of those 3 is going to be Duclair. I am going to say that Anthony Duclair is going to carve himself out a niche as a rotating winger, maybe even getting double shifted some games, and he's going to get 27 or more goals and be one of the leading scorers on the team. I have no evidence to back that up, but what the hell, it's worth the shot. All right, that was it for this week. I appreciate all the questions. Now, I have at 5 o'clock today, I'm doing an interview on Twisted Wrister Hockey's channel. He's going to be interviewing me about the Panthers. So that video, I'm not sure if it's coming out today or not, but I'll get you guys the link to that. He's got some good questions. He's got a good channel. He reached out to me, wanted me to do something with him. So I said yes, obviously. Tomorrow being Sunday, I'm going to go ahead and do the live stream at 5 o'clock. I'm going to make the community post about that too. And the last thing I'll say is I had a couple of you send me ideas for videos this week. I normally get to that kind of stuff, but this week has just been off, man. I've been having headaches for a couple of days this week. I had headaches, and it's just with this dead space with really nothing going on. And for those of you who are still watching, I have a question. Okay, this is a legit question here. I'm a little bit torn with the football. I still plan on doing Dolphins recaps, okay? But to be honest with you, with like doing like the camp updates and hitting on all the little things like Xavier Howard, like Flores saying we're not going to trade him, I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? It's like I could do that stuff And it's not even about the fact that those videos aren't really getting watched all that much. It's just, personally, I'm feeling like I would rather dig deeper into hockey and learn more about the other teams and the other players so that I could expand the NHL base rather than doing so much football. Now, on Monday being the 9th, I plan on starting to do 3 videos a day. And, that's going to include live streams and everything. I've got a bunch of things coming up this week that I'm going to announce. So, I guess my question for you all is, if I just did the Dolphin recaps, do you still think I would build a Dolphin fan base without doing any other football stuff? Because I'm concerned that the channel's been just strictly hockey for so long that nobody's interested in the football. And I really don't want to start a second channel. I don't want to do football that long. So I'm going to still be doing the Dolphin recaps. Probably also still going to be doing like whatever the Monday night football game. I'll probably do recaps for those games because there's usually no hockey on Monday. But on the off nights when the Panthers are not playing, I'm actually considering doing recaps for other hockey teams, other games, whichever games, are interested. And then also for the Patreon, I just get this out now for anybody that's still listening. And I'm going to mention this in another video, but for the Patreon and then for the YouTube membership that I'm going to be offering up here soon. If anybody remembers the rewind videos that I did previously, where I would show the highlights at the day after the game. I did my recap, and then the day after the game, I would go and I would do a commentary on the highlights and everything like that, and look at things a little bit more in depth. I'm going to be doing that for the Patreon. I know I can do it for the Patreon. Not sure if I can put that behind the paywall on the community on YouTube because it's copyrighted. So I can't run ads on it because it's got the highlights. But I know I'm going to be doing that for the Patreon. So if you're interested in that, sign up for the Patreon, because if eventually I have the YouTube community, where you guys can join as a membership here, whatever, you don't have to pay twice. So like if you join the Patreon, when I open up the membership here at YouTube, whatever I do on Patreon, you're going to get over there, and vice versa. So you only have to pay once. I don't know. It's debatable. I'm having to ask some people a question on whether or not I can use the highlights in the stuff with the membership the way that I want to do. I think I can, but I'm not sure. So I've got that coming up as well, because there's only so many fan interviews I can do, and to be honest with you, it's tough to coordinate with people timing wise, so I wanted to add something in that way. So all right, that was it. That was my little speech for the 8 of you that might still be watching, and I appreciate that. Any input that you guys have, I'd appreciate it, absolutely. This week has just been, my brain has just been, I'm still doing the bankruptcy paperwork, and I'm still painting and getting the house ready for the appraisal. So my mind is just like, with no hockey, with no games to react to, sometimes I'm sitting there for 2-3 hours thinking of a video idea and nothing is coming. So sort of like writer's block, you know what I mean? All right, I get this uploaded. I'll let you know when the Twisted Wrister video is up, and live stream tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then starting on Monday, three big fat videos a day.